Hi friend, welcome back. I hope that you have all been well. I have gone down a rabbit hole, a fun rabbit hole, but one nonetheless. And I want to show you what I created using 2 grocery bags. This is typically what I get from my grocery store whenever I forget to bring our reusable bags. So here are some of the things that I made. It all started with trying to get more use out of my sewing machine. I pretty much just cut down some pieces of paper and then just sewed it into kind of like a coin envelope without a lid. It's definitely a pocket that would be really functional for a junk journal. So then I made these. I haven't put the string on this yet, but I just punched out these hole protectors. Is that what they're called? I'm not really sure. And then I just use brads to go in there, and then when I get the string, it'll just go around here just like a regular manila envelope that we're all familiar with. As you can see, I have mismatching thread. The thread on the top spool was pink and the bottom was still blue, and I think that's fine. I think it kind of looks cute. It just gives it like a quirky character. Also, you don't need to make this envelope with a sewing machine. You could easily accomplish the same thing with glue. If you'd like to see how I make it, let me know and I will gladly film a process video or tutorial, but they're super easy to do. So we have that one, and then I made a slightly bigger one, and it's really just the same thing. And on this one, as you can see, I left the grocery logo on the outside. I think that those are kind of quirky, fun features, just like, you know, it's a grocery bag. I think most people would agree that it's fun to see the fun things that you can create repurposing stuff. So here's a larger one, and this is not even the largest, you know, that I could possibly make it. So, you know, you could make a really big one if you use the entire bag. So it's up to you and your preference. Then, and made triple pocket. And then I added, this is, I think, either tracing paper, but it'll be nice because whatever you slide in will be visible in the front. I don't know if this is 2-dimensional. Oh yeah, it does fit. You know, like just, you can just decorate them and make them look cute and cute. So then the top one, I also made a pocket there. So you got this one, the top one, and then another one in the back. This is the same thing. Okay, so now we have these, which are kind of similar to this pocket, except it's, what is this? The horizontal version? Horizontal, vertical, whatever. But it's also the same idea. So we've got a front pocket, and I just added a little tab to it, which makes it really cute. I love tabs. I don't know why I find them so satisfying. And then one in the back. These really make great flat mail envelopes to send to your pen pals. And again, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. You get the point. This one got a little bit damaged in storage, but I think I'll be able to fix it by just adding, you know, a few more stitches here. So we're not going to give up on this one. So this one is a tri-pocket, front, back, and top. And this one is a double pocket, front and top. Then I started making bookmarks galore. The first bookmarks were inspired somewhat by these because of the tabs. So I just made them plain and then just added a tab to the side. So it's really 2 pieces. If you can see, it's 2 pieces of the paper bag together so that you have, like, you know, I want a little bit of like weight to it. And then I put the tab in the middle so it gets sewn on the inside when you're done. And this was just with the scraps that are from the side of the bag. When you open your bag and you have this folded section, the bookmarks came from these panels. However big you make your bookmarks will determine how many bookmarks you can make from the sides of your bag. But I love these because this is just a perfect plain canvas for you to maybe write a quote for yourself or for your pen pal, print something out, cut something out of a magazine. You can even put pictures here. You know, there's just so many, you know, options for this. I love these, and I hope to be using them and gifting them. Then I decided to have a little fun with the bookmarks. And so for this one, I also stitched on some book pages from a book that I have that I found in the trash. and a few ephemera pieces that I already had in my stash. They're not even cut properly. They're just kind of sloppily cut, and they're also sloppily sewn. But it's really fun to feel the texture of it. I don't know if everyone out there is like me, but I do enjoy pieces that have texture on them. So yeah, so we did that a few times, just different arrangements of the little houses. I like this little messy stacked up one, and I didn't even like glue them down perfectly. I feel like that adds to the interest and the messiness of it. They're pretty firmly there with the thread, but I think it looks nice that it's not like perfectly glued. We've got a plain one, but then I decided to add a tassel, which I had a lot of fun making tassels last month. I feel like I made like 30 tassels, and I'm still not tired of making them. So prepare, pen pals, to receive tassels at some point. This one is really cool. It's just back-to-back book pages. It's nice to leave it plain as well. But it's cool to add some other interest to it if you want. And you could also cover the back if you wanted to write, or you could still write. I think that looks cool too. This tassel has one of the paper beads, which there is a video of me making the paper beads that you can check out. This one I just did using some scrap papers that I had. So you see it's also loose, and just sewed it down the middle, added my tassel with 2 paper beads. Same for this one. And this one, and this ginormous one. I just left it plain, and this one feels less like a bookmark and more like a tip-in for a junk journal. But you know, hey, you live your life. I don't know how big your book is. All right, then I did these fun things. So when I was left with these longer pieces, I thought about these sort of like junk journal wallets, if you will. So I put this elastic band on it, and it's just got this button there, and the bead was keeping it from falling out. So I knew that I wanted to make it look like a wallet, but I definitely didn't know how to do that. So I was just, you know, just blindly doing things. But in this particular spot, it was so messy that even I didn't think it was charming. So I just took a piece of scrap paper and intentionally sewed a very flat pocket here. So this would only be good for like, I don't know, something really, really flat. But it's covering a mess behind there. And then there's another pocket over here. And then just put scraps in here to make like a junk journal type thing. This one that has the pocket is actually 2 pieces of paper sewn together. They're like overlapped and then sewn together. And that part down the middle became this very messy pocket, which I think is charming. And then just a couple of pieces of scrap paper, another messy pocket, scraps, some tracing paper that I sewed into a pocket. So I put these 2 together so it can create like some more thickness, some more weight to it, or else I think it would be too fragile. So we have 2 pages and then the pocket. And then we're on the other side of those same pages, which I think is cool. And overall, I like the way that it turned out. You know, I didn't really measure anything, so it's not the most beautiful thing to look at, but depends who's looking, right? Some people are like me and think that that's kind of charming to see imperfections. So there's that, and then here's another one of those. So this one has like a tiny little, it's more like a tuck spot because that interrupts it. But then there's a pocket here. You can put some ephemera here, some ephemera here, ephemera here. So who knows? So anyway, so that's that one. Then I made this one that has like a longer version of it, like a longer wallet, if you will. So the tuck spot here is a little bit deeper. And then we've got just this extra, I just had some extra paper. Here's another pocket and another pocket and another pocket. So there's plenty of room for you to either store your own ephemera if you want to have like an ephemera wallet with you on the go somewhere, if you're traveling, I don't know, or just you want to have this in your junk journal with additional ephemera for journaling that you might be doing in the future. You know, you need a tuck spot for all those things to save for a later date of journaling. And There's tons of space for you to glue things if you wanted to glue more pockets or ephemera. I don't know. I think it's super cool that it folds out like this and you end up with 4 pockets. And then I had some scrap paper and I just made like this little tiny little tuck envelope that I just put right here. It's just like an extra thing. And then the little tassel adds like a little fun pop of color. And then I made the elastic pretty long, so there's plenty of room for this thing to grow. And then as you can see, I started using book page paper, and so I wanted to make another coin envelope, but using the book page paper on the outside, just to add. And it's nice and sturdy, which is great. This one I think is probably my favorite. I don't know, I love them all, but this one and this one are probably like my favorites of like the wallet-ish type things. So I just covered the outside with some book pages, and then the inside is like a little folio. I love this one. I love how flat and clean it is, and how it just looks like a little folder, and it's really sturdy. It's great. All right, so those are what I made with a sewing machine. I wanted to show you that how I used to make them before I had a sewing machine. So I've been making these for a few years, but this is how I used to make them over the years. And I don't have an example now, but I even used to make longer ones and keep the handle on it, because I just think that that's so cute and just quirky and fun, just to have like an envelope with a handle. Who does that? Me. So if you want to see how I make these, leave it in the comments. I will film it for you. Otherwise, maybe you already know how to do it. But yeah, I just basically glued, along the edges the way we would make any other pocket. So for this one, I folded it in half, glued the 2 sides, and that makes a pocket. And then I just left some room to fold that down. And then I just did some doodling around the edges. So this was fun. I used the Jelly Roll pens for this. And then these I painted with acrylic pens, but same thing. And then for this one, I folded it in the inside. I would have to do a tutorial for that to explain it properly, but essentially like I left like a 1/4 of an inch lip on the side so that I can fold it in. And then when you glue it, it gives you more space. See how that one opens like that versus this one, it kind of is, sealed on the sides because that's where the glue is. But anyway, I just did this random thing with acrylic paint markers. This one I used probably some acrylic paint and a stencil, and then just hand lettered something on the side. So that's that. This one I used some Jane Davenport rub-ons that I had in my stash that I'd gotten on sale at Michael's, and that makes that look super cool. And somehow there's a mess back here, but even the mess looks cool. So this is another Jane Davenport rub-on. And yeah, so these were done with glue, and you could absolutely do any of these with glue. So don't be discouraged if you don't have a sewing machine. Okay, so the last thing that I made are journaling cards. I definitely wanted to do journaling cards because why not? So this one I did again with 2 pieces of paper bag together, sewed it, and then also sewed a piece of scrap paper. And then I just printed a bunch of typed words from Pinterest and cut them down. So I have a little tray like this full of a bunch of words that I've cut down, and it's there for when I need them. And put that together, and it's kind of like my own little DIY Project Life card, which I love. These are the exact measurements of the small Project Life 4x3. And then these little pearls are from Dollar Tree that I've had in my stash forever. And it's just such a cool, meaningful, like you could literally just send one thing to your pen pal. And something like this, how meaningful is that? It's one thing, but it's one thing that you took time out of your life to sew and to create, to express that you care about someone. These I think look a little bit more fancy. Maybe it's just the color and the fact that it has like some gold on it. But again, these were made with some scraps that I had and some die cuts. So I think I just did one piece of the paper bag. Yeah, one piece of paper bag because I knew I was gonna have layers, and you gotta be careful with sewing paper on the sewing machine. So one paper bag piece, one scrap paper, and then there's also one piece of tracing paper, just kind of to act like vellum. And then the book page, and then I even sewed through the die cut. I did put a tiny bit of glue on the die cut just so that it wouldn't move before I sewed it. So I just put like a little dot on each side here so that I knew that it would stay where I needed it to be. That was especially necessary for doing it with these bows because you don't want the bows to move around when you're doing it. So these are some bows from a Tim Holtz punch that I've had for a while now, but same exact technique. These are some cool dies that I will be sending to my friend, and that looks really sweet and Christmassy. And how cool, guys, it's from a paper bag. Like, can you even handle it? I don't know. Am I the only one excited? Please comment. Please somebody tell me. A, if you've made it this far, you're the real MVP, so please tell me you made it this far. B, does this excite you or am I crazy? Okay, so, and then I've just got some extra ones that I haven't decorated yet. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking that I'm probably just gonna use these to make more quote cards like that one, but who knows? Maybe I'll decide to make more Christmas things. So yeah, so those are that. All right, guys, so that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. Please let me know what you think if you try it. I'd love to see what you make, especially if you make other things. But if you make these, yeah, I definitely want to see that too. Thanks so much for being here. If you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye. And